Hello Scorpio, welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. This is your weekly tarot reading. This is for the week of February 26th through March 4th. Please like, comment, and subscribe to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. If there's anything that you need me to pray over or meditate upon or send healing, positive energy toward, please let me know in the comments to this video. This is going to be a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I'm providing, okay? Remember that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. And here we have this Knight of Swords. So let's find out who that person might be, or what might be going on with you for this coming week. Got some pretty good energy here already. Got a few of these court cards, or a couple of them anyway. So we're doing our Dove and Serpent spread, and that is going to include a mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. And let's see what this card's going to be. At the very end, we're going to reveal this, and this is that just one? No, that's two. Hopefully that'll tie everything together, you know, give us the confirmation that we're looking for at the very end. So please stick around to the end of the video. Again, leave me your comments and questions down below, and if there is anything that you kind of want me to pray over or to meditate upon, okay? So, we have some water, we've got some fire. That's good. We've got the air, we've got some majors and stuff too. We've got some fire, and we've got some more air, some more court cards. So what I see that we're lacking is some earth energy. I feel like there is this need to bring things down to a physically connected level, right? We have to find some way to take this energy and put it into a physical action or a physical response or some physical plan or activity. You know what I mean? We have to bring things down and ground the energy. So I think at the end of everything, the really important thing, and maybe this is going to be some of that earth energy, this mystery card. We've got to find a way to ground the energy, okay? So let's look first at this Knight of Swords, okay? I think that this might be representing your energy a little bit. I think that you are someone who is generally pretty outspoken. I think that you try to be as considerate and as respectful and as fair as possible, but I think that you really are someone who is not afraid to share their opinions, right? I think that you, if there's something that you do or don't like, you speak up, you speak out, okay? I think that you are generally a pretty popular person, because, you know, the air energy, we see a lot of really good cards here for you. I think that you're very well liked, and I think it's this kind of, this outspokenness that people really like about you, that people really admire, right? I feel like this might be taking the place of some affection, though. It's almost like you want to connect on an emotional level with people with this kind of water energy. We see a lot of good water energy here, okay? So I think you are someone who is striving to make this kind of deeper emotional connection, but you're kind of wrapped up in this communication, you know, through the verbal communication or the intellectual kind of communication, you know. I think you are, like I said, very outspoken. You're very, very well spoken. I feel like there's a real eloquence to you. I feel that some of this eloquence may be, like I said, kind of not covering up, but almost getting in the way of the emotional level connection. You know, it could be that when you really feel something, you just get kind of talkative. You know what I mean? But I feel like when the situation really calls for it, you can speak up on someone's behalf. I think you're always someone who's ready to go to someone's defense. You know, especially if it's a cause that you believe in, but more than that, if it's a person that you believe in, right? You care more about the person than about the ideas that they're presenting, right? They could be completely wrong, but and you could disagree with them completely. But if you care for the person, if you love that person, if you have an affection or a place in your heart for that person, you're going to come to their aid and support them, right? You may have that conversation later in private where you say, hey, I think that you're full of BS. But in the moment, in public, I think you're going to defend that person, even if it means arguing for a position that you don't necessarily agree with, right? Because I think what's really important to you is this water energy, and not so much the right or wrongness of what you're arguing or what you're debating or, the conversation that you're having. Because I think that you are very intelligent. I think you know that every argument, there's no real winnable argument for anything, right? I think you know that what we do with words is to dissect things, to pick things apart. There's really no right or wrong. There may be a winner and a loser in a debate, which is something I think that you enjoy, is that challenge, that kind of, that playful, intellectual jousting or sword fighting, right? We see that with the Two of Swords over here. I think you like a good debate. But what you like more is the people in your life that are close to you, And I think that you will defend them, if need be, in public, even if you don't agree with the position that they're making. And then again, in private, you may tell them, hey, that was complete crap. But in public, I think it's this, it's almost like this honor kind of thing that you feel. But I think it goes a lot deeper than that, because it's the deeper connection that we're looking for. It's not really about the honor. It's not that kind of a thing for you. It's more of this water element. And with the water element, we see first today this Hanged Man. Okay, I think that you really do want these emotional connections and these spiritual connections, these deep affectionate relationships with people, but I feel like you don't allow yourself to have it. You know what I mean? It's almost like that you are kind of keeping people at a little bit of a distance, but it almost feels like you're trying to kind of not protect them, but not protect yourself either. But it's just like there's this distance there because you almost feel like you don't quite deserve that, or you're not done with your own spiritual evolution to be ready for that kind of a relationship. Does that make sense? It's kind of confusing to myself. I feel like there is a lot of inner work that you're doing, and I feel like this spiritual work, this evolution, this path that you're on is like, you feel it's not quite finished yet, and so you're not really ready to subject someone else to your maybe shifting moods, your changing nature, to this kind of, you don't want them to be a casualty of your spiritual growth, right? And that maybe that sounds a little terrible. But I feel like it's not a selfish thing. It's something where you feel like the other people will be better off if you just continue with the work that you're doing until maybe some point in the future where you're ready for this. You're ready for this deeper commitment, or this, this real bond, this real, soulmate kind of connection, this real love relationship. Okay. So it's almost like a self-sacrificing kind of thing. I think that you are someone who loves deeply. And there may be one particular person that you are just, absolutely in love with. I feel like you're not allowing yourself to act on that, right? We're in the Hanged Man kind of position. You want to, you feel it, but there's something that's stopping you. And I think what's stopping you is this idea that you're not a finished product yet, right? You're not ready for this, which honestly I think is BS, because everybody is on some sort of a journey, right? We're all incomplete, kind of, in a certain sense. We're all still growing. We're all still evolving in some way. So I don't think we can ever reach perfection. So if you're waiting for the day where you feel you're Your inner world is perfect, the circumstances are perfect, the world is perfect, and then you can have this love, this soulmate kind of thing that you want. You're going to be waiting for a long, 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 long time, you know? And so I wonder if this attitude of yours is covering up something else, perhaps. Maybe. I want to go to the recent past now because there is this Priestess card. I think that you've had some sort of a psychic experience recently that maybe put you in this mode or kind of contributed to what's going on right now. It could be that you visited a psychic, you had a tarot reading, or someone read your palm, or there was some kind of a psychic event in your life. It could be that you read the cards for yourself, or you had some kind of a psychic or spiritual or paranormal experience, but it took place in the form of a communication, right? It's not just like, you know, your cupboard doors started flapping around in your house or something. It was a communication. Okay, so there was some information provided you, whether it was through a medium or through your own mediumship, your own psychic abilities and gifts. Because I do think everybody has this intuitive psychic ability. We all have these gifts, right? But we're all in a different phase of our development, our growth, our evolution, like we said. So some people are more, they can tap into that more easily than others, I think. You know, but it's there in all of us. Anyway, I think you've had this experience recently and it has influenced the situation, what's going on now. Okay? And that situation being this this intense desire for love and connection, but somehow, for some reason, not allowing yourself to go for it yet. Not allowing it to happen just right now. Above everything, we see the Ace of Cups. This is really telling me that you are a very affectionate person. You do want this deep, deep soulmate level connection. I think you find it easy to connect with people. And again, I think people really love you and admire you, you know? I mean, you've got this air energy that we saw with the Knight of Swords, right? You're someone that seems like just a real outspoken, real confident, like even with like a charm to them, you know? And I think it's easy for people to really love you and fall in love with you, but I still feel this kind of self-denial about it, right? I feel like this is your ideal. This is up above the path of the dove. It's at the very top. This is like the peak of the mountain for you. And you're just not there yet. But like I said, I don't know if you'll ever get to this perfection, this ideal, this perfect you, perfect circumstances, right? So how long are we going to deny ourselves waiting to get to the very, very top, the very summit of this mountain, which I don't think is there? I think anytime you may feel like you're getting close to the summit, the clouds will part and you'll see that you still have thousands of feet to go. I think that's the nature of our journey as human beings, you know? I could be wrong. But I feel like there's no real sense denying yourself this now, waiting for a more perfect set of circumstances, you know? Down beneath everything, 10 of Wands, you're not getting younger. Okay, the longer you hold out to really allow yourself this type of connection, the older that we get, the more tired we get. So it's just like the closer we get to the summit, or what we think is perfection and a complete and ideal set of circumstances, the closer we get, the slower we move. So we keep getting closer, but we keep moving slower. So really, we're never going to get there. Do you see what I mean? Maybe if we had eternal youth and that vitality and that energy of, you know, the 20-year-old, then we could make more progress in this lifetime. But the closer we get, the slower we go. So if the distance between, you know, if our rate of acceleration is constantly slowing, even though that distance is shortening, we're never going to get there. I think there was a philosopher that said something about that, how it's not possible to really move in any direction, or it's not possible to ever get anywhere. It's never possible to get to a destination, right? Because if we traverse half of the distance, right, and then there's a marker or a resting place, then we half that distance, and we're always getting a little bit closer, but each segment is getting smaller and smaller and smaller. We keep cutting it in half. Well, we're going to just keep dividing it infinitely, and we're never going to get there. Something like that. I don't know how the argument went. Maybe you know what I'm talking about or what philosopher I'm talking about. Leave it in the comments, because now it's going to bug me until I remember what that was exactly. But I think the idea was we can never get to any destination. It's impossible to arrive. Okay, and that's kind of what I'm getting at with this thing. Because again, we're not getting any younger. Our energy is not an infinite energy. We are mortal beings, I think, most of us, at least in our physical shells, our physical bodies, okay? I agree that there is something immortal and permanent and something that's, a constant, but I don't know what that is exactly. I don't know if I'm more on the Buddhist side of things, where there is nothing that's permanent except impermanence, or if I believe that there is something immortal that lasts beyond death. Either way, I'm not trying to get into that kind of an argument today. The point is, our physical mortal lives are limited, and this is just basically saying, hey, time is short. We're not getting any younger. Why are you denying yourself this type of pleasure, this type of fulfillment, okay? And now, with the Ace of Cups, this doesn't necessarily mean a soulmate romantic partnership, okay? This kind of love could be between you and God, goddess, deity. It could be just you with an idea or with an activity or with a process or something. It doesn't have to be a romantic relationship with one other person, okay? This could look a million different ways. And I just wanted to point that out, because I don't want to think that we're excluding all these other people who maybe aren't looking for that romantic kind of connection right now, right? But I think it's still possible to have this Ace of Cups in whatever form it's, potentially going to take. The idea is that you're not allowing yourself to make that connection right now, because I think that there's some psychic event happened, and you're in this mode now where you have to sacrifice this for whatever reason. Okay, but I think that your time is running out, honestly. Okay, I don't mean to be morbid, but we're all getting older. In the immediate future, though, I see this fiery energy with the Judgment, with the Eon, baptism by fire. We're looking at all this water and stuff over here. We got a little bit of the fire down here, but this fire here is like this painful doorway. It's like you have to go through this kind of painful process in order to get what you want, to get to the other side, to get to the rest of your life, really to get to the path of the serpent, right? This is the portal that's taking us to the path of the serpent, okay? And this is an uncomfortable realization. This is you admitting to yourself the painful truth of things. This is like the hard work that you've got to do to go through this doorway. So it's really taking all of this water energy, this kind of, whoops, that's upside down, or is that upside down? I don't know. This is pure water, this is pure fire, okay? So we're kind of in this self-denial, this kind of passivity, this yielding, this sacrificing, right? And we're going through the fire. I think the idea here is to take what vitality and energy and hope and optimism and just energy, enthusiasm, excitement, take this fiery energy while you still have it and use it to go through this doorway and get what you want out of life. Get your future. Look for your connection. Find what this meaning and purpose and this ideal and this soulmate connection, this highest love for you. What is that? How do you get it? It's time to pull ourselves out of this kind of self-imposed suffering, sacrifice, self-denial, and instead take some active steps to go after what we want. Okay, I think that's pretty straightforward energy. But it's not going to be an easy thing. Okay, and that's the point of this Eon card, is that it's not an easy transition, but it's a definite decision. You have to really make the conscious effort to say, okay, I'm going to do it. I'm going to stop with the self-denial or the sacrificing, the self-imposed suffering. And so it's a definite decision, right? And then you've got to take that first step, okay? And the first step, well, it's kind of back to the water energy. So we're on the path of the Serpent now, and I do just want to say again, if there's anything you need me to pray over or meditate upon or send positive energy toward, let me know in the comments, please. With this general energy, this is the Prince of Cups. This is you now taking practical, active steps to get what you want, right? So you're aware of your desires. You've pulled yourself out of this water. You've kind of you've been purified by this fire, and now you understand this water even better, right? This is the air of water. This is the understanding, the intellectual kind of knowing about your desires, about your spiritual path, your highest love, your highest aspiration, this Ace of Cups. So now you're on the actual journey to get that cup. It's almost like now you're after the Holy Grail, right? The Grail is that cup, right? So now you're on that quest, and you're actively pursuing this cup, this Grail, whatever it may look like to you, whatever it may represent, okay? And I think in your environment, you still have this intellectual activity, but this now is, it's almost like a bit of a mental calm now has come over you, because we started out with this Knight of Swords, a lot of intellectual activity, a lot of debating, a lot of, a lot of this kind of, rational intellectual thought, this real intelligence. But I think now there's a bit of a calm that comes over you. And this calm is almost like now putting a bit of a pause on some of this intellectual activity. It's almost like now you've kind of taken all of that, debate, all of that eloquence, all of that mental energy, and you're able to focus it now. This is almost like a crosshairs, right? It's like a target. It's like you've focused it in on this, on what you really want. So you're more honed in. Your thoughts are more concentrated. Your will is more concentrated. You are going after what you want now to fulfill yourself. And there's no thoughts now of putting this off or denying yourself this anymore. And then the next card we see is some more fire energy. So we're kind of bouncing from the water to the fire to the water to the fire, right? So we're alternating, we're balancing things, and that's very, very good. This is the Four of Wands. This is showing a completion of your quest. This is you really attaining your goals and kind of finding that Holy Grail, right? Whatever that may look like to you, whatever that the Grail may represent for you. This is you attaining that. This is you accomplishing your will, right? You've completed the quest. You've completed the quest. And on the other side of everything, we end with this Prince of Swords. So it's just like you've gone through all of this energy, all of this work, you've gone out on this quest, but in essence, you're still the same person that you've always been. You're still this, who we're saying is represented by the swords court cards here, right? And yes, I know, Scorpio, you're a water sign. I wouldn't be surprised if you have very strong air energy in your chart somewhere. But this is signifying that you're still the same person on the other side, right? You may be in a bit of a different configuration, different circumstances. You will have grown and evolved a little bit, but you're still you. You know, you're still the same person, but now it's almost as if you are more pure, more fulfilled, more enlightened even, I guess. And even though I don't really like that word enlightened, unless we mean that literally you are filled with light, you know. But I think that's kind of true. This is the air of the air. This is the pure energy. This is the pure energy of knowing yourself, knowing who you are, and not being weighed down by the water and fire here that we see on the path of the dove, the water and fire here is kind of doing us a disservice, right? This is water and fire in kind of a negative way. But then we're going to the water and fire that on the path of the serpent, transitioning over to it. The water and fire is being used in a positive way, right? So it's more of a healing water and fire rather than the detrimental fire and water that we saw over here. So it's still water and fire, but now it's being used for growth and fulfillment and love and success and beauty and pleasure and all of these things. So you're still the same person on the other side, but you've now learned to use your energies in a productive way to get what you really want in life, to find your holy grail. Okay. Let's look at the mystery card. What did I say this was going to be? I said maybe some... Did I say it was going to be some fire energy or water energy? I don't remember now. Okay. Princess of Discs. Yes, this is what we said. I thought it was going to be the earth energy. That's right. So I'm right. This is the practical steps. We said at the beginning that there needs to be some kind of grounding of all of this energy. And this is the Princess of Discs, Earth of Earth. This is pure earth. So this is really the grounding of things. And it shows that the situation, your life right now is pregnant with possibilities, right? This is something that is kind of it's been your path for a long time. It's like you've been preparing for this and building up towards this. For some reason, there's been this self-denial. So there's been a delay of the birth of this thing. But what we're really, what's really being born is this Holy Grail. And this is the success, the pleasure, the fulfillment, the absolute miracle of your life coming to fruition, being born into this world. And it's really like your rebirth. And you're being reborn, but again, you're still the same person on either side of it, right? It's just a different configuration of energy. It's more pure, it's more fulfilled, it's more spiritual now, It's almost like that kind of rebirth kind of deal. So the confirmation is this Princess of Pentacles. This is the earth energy to show us that we definitely will be bringing all of this energy down to a practical level. We will be expressing it in our daily lives through activities, plans, and purposes, and through real movement, right? It's not just theoretical, it's not just energetic, it's not just mental or emotional, but you're going to be doing physical things to you're going to be really out in the world doing these things, searching for your holy grail, manifesting your highest ideal, your highest spiritual will, the highest good, right? So this is really, I think this was a really good reading for you. I'm really, really happy that we had this kind of energy for you, Scorpio. We're going to do an extended. If you want to stick around, click on the link that's right up here. You can have access to all of the extended readings, okay? This was your weekly reading, February 26th through March 4th on Dove and Serpent Tarot.